I live in Florida and in the summer my oil pressure gauge would drop to about the 1/4 mark when the engine got to operating temperature and even lower when the AC clutch kicked in. I tried this oil because of its viscosity, on paper, was more stable at temperature than the Nissan recommended 5W30 or 5W40. With this oil on a 95-degree day in traffic, the oil pressure is more stable than ever, barely dropping below halfway on the gauge. E90 M3 eats oil while at Thunder Hill. Top it off with this is easy peasy, it has a funnel built in. This is oil I would use for hard driving, but it does the job for regular driving as well. Motul makes oil good enough to not need additives, and like brands such as revieww, molybdenum actually comes in this oil. You don't have to spend another $15 for it. At the shop I worked at, this oil would do very well in customer cars, and I've made the switch on my E46 M3. There is the maximum allowed ZDDP, which is good for protection on startup, and the viscosity stays within specs very well. Its film strength is very good, and during a cruise on the highway, my temps are around 190 degrees when it's 95 outside. Once the driving begins, all oils heat up, and in that aspect this oil is a little on the lighter side, which will allow more flow and slightly lower oil pressure. Bearing clearance is tight and are a problem on this car. Better flow is good. Track cars will use a 50WT oil to give a reference. Coming from Redline 5W50 to this feels underwhelming to my E39 M5. I'm sure it's a great oil, but my engine's noisier on startup. I get a clatter identical to when I tried running Pennzoil Ultra Platinum 0W40. Just overall a great oil, but I'm going back to Redline after 3,000 miles. BTW for me. Liqui Moly 10W60 ran smoother plus quieter than the Motul 10W60 IMO.